Them say pressure bust pipe. True, but pressure also builds diamonds. Building a house is a lot of pressure, but the grit and determination it takes is going to make you into a stronger person when you finally finished your dream home. I'm your host, Xandria Stennett, and on today's episode, we have with us Ricardo Thompson, also known as Ricky. He's a plumber, an entrepreneur, and a justice of the peace. But most importantly, he's been in the business of helping people to maintain their plumbing systems for 25 years. Welcome to The Build Up, brought to you by Holt's Hardware, the show for those building their houses and those aspiring to build their houses in the future.
That's my girl. I'll be your friend at the very end.
But before we get into the podcast and start dropping some gems, ensure you're following us on Instagram and TikTok at Holt's Hardware JA. Welcome, Ricky, and thank you for joining us on the show today.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Ricky Meir says a busy man, you know, so we're glad we catch up on the show today.
Very, very much. I have
Ricky,
to turn off my phone.
Ricky, when I catch you, Ricky, you get a reference there? No? You get it?
Yes.
Okay, so Ricky, you started your plumbing journey in about 1999, and when you attended the Heart Academy in Old Harbor, you did levels 1, 2, and 3 in plumbing. So tell us, did you always want to be a plumber?
No, I never see plumbing as something I want to do. I always want to be an electrician. But when I went to do the interview, they said the space was filled up, and I decided I'm going to try something else because the working environment, not everybody want to treat you very well in the working environment. So I always want to do something that I can do it myself. I don't want to always be, as I said, how people treat people in the working environment. So I want to do a skill for myself. So I decided to choose plumbing. I never regret it for a minute. I love it very much.
That's amazing. You've had about roughly 25 years of experience in plumbing. So you would have encountered a wide variety of scenarios as it relates to the industry. So tell us, if for instance a person is building a house from scratch, they're at the foundation phases, they have no pipes at all, walk us through what the process is like for them to start laying the pipes, dealing with the sewage, until they reach the finished product, a house that they can live in.
Well, first they have to get a professional plumber, somebody who have in the business, know the business. First, the plumber gonna see a plan. They would normally have a plan for the business, a floor plan, the plan for the house, and then you the plumber look at it, see what is required. If you have, say, example, you have one bathroom, one kitchen, and a washroom. We go through the plan, look at it, write you up a material list. You get the material list, then we start run the pipe in the building before you cast the bottom. Then after you cast the bottom, there's the next thing we could put in the bath before tiling. Because some people put in bath, nowadays we don't use bath a lot anymore. Then we run the sewage around the back, and then they would prepare for the pit to make up a pit for it, or it go into the sewage system. Because there are some houses, especially if you're doing a house is on your own land, you normally do a pit system, a pit, a septic system. So you have to have all of those systems first, the system to function well. So we'd have to go through all of that process before it is completed.
Okay, so this process of laying the pipes and setting up the sewage systems, it sounds very tedious. And I'm imagining that if you rush into it, you might really have some expensive mistakes. Please tell the people how they can go about planning the thing properly so they don't have to end up spending a lot of money in the long run redoing some things that were done incorrectly.
As I said, at first you have to get somebody professional in the business. Don't let somebody just tell you, oh, I can do plumbing, or some contractor would tell you, oh, I can do everything. Don't go that route. Get somebody professional for the business. I see many times I have to go to places and read over the entire system because there are some key points in plumbing. You have to have trap, you have to have vent system. Trap is a system where everything go out to the sewage, and if you don't trap your bathroom, especially the bath, you always have a smell coming from the bath. You have to have a trap under the bath. The face basin have to have a trap. If these places don't have trap and vent system around the back, you will have a problem. Some people said, oh, I can do it for you, and then at the end of the day, these are not in. When you tile up your place and finish everything, you end up in problem.
So say I'm a person just building my house and I'm looking for a plumber, I'm shopping around, I'm asking friends. What are some red flags I can look out for in a plumber that can make me say, no, that's not the one?
Well, the one who you just come and tell her, yeah man, we can do everything, and they're rushing to get your work done. They're trying to get it fast out of the way to move on to somewhere else. You're somebody who passionate about your work, want to get your work done. And for me, there are some people, it's just about the money. You have to have a passion for the thing, what you're doing. Money is a part of it, but the passion. Some people come collect your money and then go and see them. The first thing they come up is all about the money. I know money is a part of it. When I work, I want my money. You need to pay me. But I want to make sure at the end of the day, when I finish, you can tell your neighbor, tell your friend about me. That is my thing. When we do your work, you must can tell someone, say, me have a plumber who we can recommend him. So you must can be able to be recommended. And also, you're getting a plumber. You must make sure somebody can recommend him. Mm-hmm. Don't just go pick up anybody so they can do plumbing. Make sure they can be recommended from somebody who they have worked for.
Okay. So you have a very fancy device in the plumbing industry called a leak detector. Can you tell us what a leak detector is and how it has really helped to push your business forward?
The leak detector is an instrument that whenever your water bill going up, you're saying, what is happening? My bill is going up. I have this instrument because one of my philosophy is, in the business, I want to make sure that my dream is to make sure that I have a tool that no other plumber have, and I can proudly say, even plumber have to ask me about this piece of tool because most of them don't have it. So I want to have something different from everybody. So I try to invest. I checked out to see what this piece of tool could be, and I find this as a leak detector. So if you have an underground leak that you can't find, the plumber coming can't find it, you don't know where it is. So I invest in this instrument. So when your water bill go up, you call me, I come and me go around and me check and me test, and I'm able to tell you where the leak is. We dig up, we find it. Sometimes we have to repipe the entire place, but sometimes we just find it, for example, near to the toilet, we could just dig up there, fix it. So it's a very good piece of instrument. So as I said, I want to have something different from my next plumber. I've also, it's an electrical drain machine. You can plug it in, run it in the system, and can clear your drain. It can cut out 3 roots.
Wow.
So I believe in investing in the business. If you notice, I have a van that it colored up, it right up, because I want to sell the business. I want people to, when they see me, then see that this person means business.
Right. That's exactly how it should be. So tell us, for the Jamaican homeowners or homeowners in general who want to know how to maintain the plumbing in their house, the sewage systems in their houses, what are some of the items you would recommend they have to effectively take care of the plumbing in their house?
Well, I would want them to be very vigilant. You see, your toilet can be one of your worst enemy. It can be running and you not even know it's running. Send your bills into millions of dollars. See, a lot of people have their water, their toilet, them they not even know it's a run. So you have to be vigilant. Check your system, look in the bowl if it is running, make sure you're on top of it because you would have to pay for it later on. So that is one of the things you have to you have to make sure you watch your toilet. And you need to have plunger. Sometimes the toilet clog up. For you to call me, happy for you to get that call because you have to pay me. But have a plunger. Sometimes when you turn off your pipe, make sure it's not dripping. If it's dripping, fix it. Because in the long run, it's going to get worse. If you have a mixer system, make sure that you watch, if any dripping or anything, you fix it. When you fix the system, then you will always have a proper system. The drain system, sometimes you can just lift up your manual around the back, check to make sure everything is working right. Because what happened? There's a mixer we call Seiko bath mixer. There's a thing they call seat. Whenever that is bad, you could have changed washer till now till tomorrow. It's still a go leak if you see it not change. Sometimes people say, oh, my pipe a leak. A washer. It must be a washer. So you have to be very vigilant. Once it is dripping, fix it. It's gonna get worse. Sometimes the pipe is out, you have to change the whole pipe.
Okay, and how do you recommend people go about choosing the right products? Because they don't want to choose something that might be cheap but it end up not working. So guide us on how we can choose the right products that will help us maintain our plumbing.
Well, for me, a lot of the hardware know me that when I come, I have brand that I buy. Because I don't want when I do a work, I have to come back over and over. And not just that, I look out for your interests. Because if I'm going to dig out a wall and put in a mixer, I want to make sure that the mixer serve you and I can just go anywhere to get one parts for it. I don't want to put in a mixer for you later on I say, the next here, at least they are here. You have to dig out a wall again. So I look product that when I put it in, it can serve you and I can just go down the hardware to buy something fixed. For example, Seiko mixer, it may not be a fancy mixer, but anything go wrong with it, we can fix it. Some people go and buy some big fancy pipe. They look nice. I'm not going to tell them like they look nice and fancy, but when they go bad, you can't get any parts for them. So I always point out to people, you may want it to put in, I'm going to put it in, but I tell you the side effect later on. So I always recommend, I go some places and I see people put in a plastic lock off and tile up and everything look good. Plastic lock off in a wall. That no make no sense. Me would not even do that.
Alright, so break it down why it no make no sense. Because I really don't know.
A plastic, say you have a red lock, you know those red lock off? Some people put in a wall for shower pipe and turn it on. And as they keep turning that plastic lock off, it's going to go bad. So you have to make sure that, no matter who it is, you couldn't even pay me to put in that. Because I know later on I have to dig up back your wall. So I try to look for product that will help you to last longer. So you can get a proper job.
Okay.
Even toilet. Toilet is the next key thing. You have some toilets, them nice, them fancy, but the flushing system, when it go bad, sometimes you have to change the entire toilet.
Oh, wow.
I recommend you get one toilet where you can easily pull at the front and flush it. I know technology time and people sometimes want something fancy and nice, but sometimes the fancy work out to be your worst nightmare.
Wow. You hear that, people? Choose functionality over fanciness.
Yes.
So tell us, what's the biggest plumbing job you've ever had?
My biggest plumbing job, I did a 2-story building for 2 neighbors like nearby. I did a complete from start to finish. So I run in the pipe from foundation, running the pipe system, get it up and running. Like 2-story building.
And about how long did that project last?
Well, you see, that is why, for me personally, when it comes to starting from scratch work, I personally don't always want to do that because those work drawn out, they take long, step-by-step process.
Like about how many weeks we're looking at?
Well, it's not about me now because there are stages. Because I have to go run in the pipe, the mason have to come cast the bottom of the floor. Then after the tile, I have to go back. So there are different stages. So it cannot, and depends on how the people have their money too.
Right.
So me running all the pipe, the mason starts flush up, render, all of that. When him done, me have to wait till him done and the tile are done for me to go back to put in the fixture. So it's very. So you can't just look at a work. If everybody have their money and ready to roll, then it would last probably a 2 weeks, 3 weeks because as I said, everybody have to do a different stage of work to get it done.
Okay. I can imagine that as a plumber, you've encountered a plethora of scenarios with different waste, maybe stagnant water. Tell us, what is the worst plumber horror story that you have encountered so far?
Well, would you believe that I would choose a block toilet over block greasy kitchen? You would surprise.
Really?
Yes. Because when you have a toilet block, it look very stinky and nasty and whatever. But you see, once you rad it or plunge it out and you're good to go. You see a greasy kitchen that will stay with you for the day.
The stench.
The scent will stay with you for the day. So sometimes when I finish that job, I have to go home and change.
Wow.
And come back. But so a kitchen sink would be my worst, but no job is worse for me. Once I'm getting my money, I do anything. It doesn't matter. For example, once I pull up a toilet, it was a tree root grow up in the toilet.
A tree root?
Tree root. So tree roots try to fall in the line of the pipe. Sometimes there's a little seep in it. It's seep in the sewage line. It's seep into even the water pipe, it's seeping, and it let your water bill go up to if it's deep and you don't know underground. So that's coming with the leak detector. But the sewage line, when it grow up and get big, pretty, and then that block up the system.
Oh, wow.
So the drainage machine that I have, that is what would go in and cut out those roots out of it. Yeah.
Was that the only experience you've had with a tree growing in a pipe?
Yeah. Those were...
That's very interesting. So tell us, of everything, the ups and downs, what is the best part of being a plumber?
The best part of being a plumber is somebody call me and say, you know, my toilet block, I'm going to use my snake and just ride it out in 5 minutes and you can get $5,000. So those are work that...
Explain to the people what a snake is.
A snake is a auger, like a toilet auger. You can Google it or type it, toilet auger. It's a rod thing. That's why they call it snake, because it's a bending thing. And the S-strap in the toilet, it goes right up in it. So
okay, and it just clears it out immediately.
Not all the time it clears. Sometimes you have to take up the toilet. It depends. For example, somebody... Oh, that's the next thing. People drop their phone in the toilet. People drop a lot of things in the toilet.
What is the funniest thing or the strangest thing someone has ever dropped in a toilet that you had to fish for?
Well, a phone would be one of
A phone?
A phone. People drop their phone and they're just not going to touch it. Because, you know, once it passed down that level, nobody wants to touch
hold on there. The phone work after that or no?
No, the phone definitely done. Because water, most of them that I come across, the phone done. Because go in their water system.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, them just take it out so it doesn't block up the pipe.
Yeah. For example, the next thing you can look at is when you're brushing your toilet with a toilet brush, sometimes that break off and somebody decide, me nah, go in there, that, you know, then flush it.
Oh.
You have to take out that brush. So you have to be very careful when you're using the brush. Over time, you have to take your brush, make sure it's in a run, because sometimes it's a bit rotten. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for those tips. I'm sure the viewers are enjoying it. Maybe they're grossed out a bit, but I'm hoping you're all understanding the importance of choosing quality tools when it comes to plumbing and looking for the right professionals. So we're moving right along into segment 2, some rapid fire questions and games. Are you ready, Ricky?
Yes.
So what are the top 3 things you think every Jamaican home needs?
You need a bathroom, but you need a basin, you need a toilet, and you need a bath.
You're saying that because you're a plumber, right?
Not because I'm a plumber. I always say, you don't have to have light. You don't have there's so many stuff you don't have to have.
What do you mean you don't have to have
You
light?
don't have to have no light, but you have to have a bathroom. You have to take a shower every day. So that is very key.
Okay, so light over what over light?
Right.
Okay. All right, so we're playing a game called Plan or Scam now.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you some scenarios and you're going to say plan if you agree with the scenario, or you're going to say scam if you don't agree. You get it?
Yeah.
All right, so let's go. Using a contractor for plumbing.
Scam.
Why scam?
Why scam? Well, it shouldn't be always scam. Some contractor is good, but some don't know nothing about plumbing. They're a contractor overall. So you have to make sure the contractor know plumbing. So that is a bit off.
Okay. So it can be a plan, it can be a scam, depending on the situation.
Yeah. Can we tell him can do everything and then he mess you up? So that's my thing about it. It could mess you up.
Flushable wipes in the toilet are okay.
That's a scam.
It's a scam for
Yeah.
real? So why them say it can flush?
Wipes, what happened to wipes? Wipes don't move. It's you see tissue dissolve out. Wipes don't dissolve. Wipes just go and stuck in the trap.
So you recommend, even if they say on the package flushable wipes, not to use it?
None at all. Unless they want to call me.
Okay. Using super glue instead of PVC glue.
PVC glue. So
Now, is that a plan or a scam? To like I said, we can use some crazy glue. Can that work?
it's a scam.
It's a scam.
Right.
Why is that a scam?
Scam. PVC pipe, they have a specific solvent cement to use on it. You can't, if you use something else, remember you're dealing with pressure. You can't use anything for that. You have to use what is required. For example, when I'm doing a shower, I make sure I put a galvanized elbow in the wall, because when you're screwing, if you put a PVC elbow, when you screw in the iron shower head, it can just split. Say your tile place, have to redo that. So specific things must be properly done.
Okay, understood. What about choosing a pretty faucet over one that's easy to maintain?
It's a scam.
Scam. And we talked about that earlier.
Right.
Pouring grease down the drain.
Definitely no. That's a scam. But it doesn't matter if you throw grease down the drain. Grease will always go down the drain. When you bathe, there's grease. The out of the pot water is grease. So you don't literally have to throw the grease down.
But it builds up over time.
It builds up over time. Also, that is why you require to have a grease trap outside. So you trap all your grease, and in overtime you have to clean it, the grease trap. So it's just water move on to your sewage system.
Okay.
And that is the next thing. Some people just run everything in a one. When you run everything in a one, your pit system block up because the grease tied up the pit. So you have to make sure that you have specific grease trap for the kitchen and the bath. The bath water and the basin water, they must be in one thing. Then the grease stay back, water move on to the system.
Okay. So final question in the planner scam section. If it can fit down the toilet hole or the siphon jet, you can flush it.
I would say that's a scam.
Scam.
Very much, because you may think it can flush, but it may not.
Thank you so much, Ricky, for joining us on the Build Up show today. But before you go, just let the people know, what are some of the plumbing services that you offer? What kind of places do you work? And how they can reach out to you if they want to use your services?
Well, most of the service I offer is I would do a complete bathroom for you. I maintain your system. For example, you have a blockage. Those are the most common thing. You have a leaking pipe. I'm ready and able to assist you in all of those areas. Whatever area you have in the plumbing system that is not functioning, or you have a new system you want to do, I am available to do that for you. Also, I work at various places all around Spanish Town, Portmore. I even go in Kingston to work. So I work at places like Jampet Gas Station. I'm their plumber. I work at Angel Primary School, Greater Portmore Primary School, a lot of business places in Spanish Town. So I just work all over Spanish Town, and I am very busy.
I can imagine. So we're glad that we could catch you on the podcast today. Well, how can the people contact you if they want your services?
Well, they can. My number is 1-876-864-4880. And they can email me at ricky2002@yahoo.com. It's RICKEEY2002@yahoo.com. They can send me an email.
Thank you very much, Ricky. I'm wishing you an amazing day and all the best in your plumbing business moving forward.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure being here as well. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining us for today's episode of The Build Up, brought to you by Holt's Hardware, the show for home builders and those aspiring to build their homes in the future. Remember, it doesn't just take millions to build a house. It takes vision, determination, and a plan to make it happen. We at Holt's Hardware are determined to make it happen for you. You can call or WhatsApp us for pickup or deliveries at 548-3050 or 458-4949. We'll see you in the next episode.